Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is mount this little green fill line right here into the side of the fuselage. Going to have to drill a hole for it. And with the Dubro kit came, these things of plastic, one of which I've already taken and put it on the end of the green tube. That one that's missing there. I'm going to take this thing off and I'm going to put it up here, decide where I want it, draw a circle, and get a drill out and drill it. Be right back. Okay, as you see, I've marked a hole right here, and the diameter of this part here, not the flange part, but the part here that's going to go through that hole, you measure it and it says 7/16. So I'm going to need a 7/16 drill bit, and I got a big supply of drill bits here, so I know there's a 7/16 in there. But before you drill the hole, you need to take a razor blade and cut away all of this covering, so you're down to bare wood, because the drill bit isn't going to cut the covering very well, but the razor blade will. So you take the circle, cut it out with a razor blade, and then you do the drilling. So let me get my razor blade. Okay, got my trusty battery operated 20-volt drill bit from DeWalt. Got my 7/16 drill, got my hole cut out, and we'll just go very slowly here. Oh, wait a minute. Move the airplane to where I can apply a little pressure without it going anywhere. So this has a sort of a pilot bit on it, so it's going to drill a little bit of pilot hole before it gets to the 7/16. There we go. As it starts to eat through, I'm going to apply much less pressure. So it doesn't splinter out the inside too much. Okay. There we go. Okay, I could hear it splintering a little bit, but that's okay, because I'm going to use epoxy to glue this in. Still need the screwdriver to open that up a little. Let's see how we do here. There we go. Okay, so there's a bit of splinters there. That's okay. Let me see if I can. That'll clean out. Okay, so I'm going to clean this hole up and show you how to epoxy it. Okay, I'm ready to epoxy this in. I got my 2 bottles of epoxy, got a bunch of wooden sticks, got my bottle of alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, 91%, plenty of paper towels. I've got a paper towel here so that if any of the epoxy drips, it'll hit the paper towel. This is a nice tight fit, which is good. You won't need a lot of epoxy to hold it, so I'm not going to mix a lot of epoxy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to epoxy around the hole here so it sits under the lip. Then I'm going to put this in, put the black thing in, flip it over. Make sure I'll make sure that if any epoxy is out, I get that first. And I'm going to flip it over so that I can epoxy on the inside where those splinters were, and that'll fuel proof it. So here we go. Won't need a lot of epoxy. Blue cap on that side, red cap on this side, and away we go. So I'm just going to hit here and wait for the epoxy to ooze on down the line. Uh-oh. My red epoxy isn't oozing as much as it usually does. Here it comes. Probably time to get me some new 6-minute epoxy. It's starting to not be as limber as it usually is. Here we go. Now it's coming. Alright, squeeze an appropriate amount. I'll let you figure out what that is. And certainly enough for that one. Usually wipe the tips off before I put the blue cap on. Then wipe the tip off before I put the red cap on. And put those aside. Grab me a nice stir stick. And start stirring. Okay. I don't know how much I'm going to need on the inside, but I'm going to need very little on the outside here, so you'll see how I do that. Okay. I'm going to get a little on the end of the stick here and just go right around the outside where this hole is. Not going to take much to hold it. And I probably put on too much, but we'll see. So then this goes in, and it's a tight fit, but it's going to work. Okay, I'm going to take a little spray bottle of alcohol, give a, oops, don't spray the camera. Okay, and just wipe that good and clean. Okay, that is not going to go anywhere. Okay. I'm going to flip the airplane over here on the stand and see what it looks like on the inside. Alright. So there's a bit of epoxy oozing on the inside, but I've got some rip out and some splinters there. Sorry I don't have time to show it to you a second. Let me get this epoxy on before it hardens. Okay. So I'm going to be doubly sure that there's no epoxy going in the hole, because that would be bad. Okay. That's enough epoxy. Going to use a clean stick to clean up a little. All the little splinters that splintered out are now covered with epoxy, and that's going to be good. Okay, so now I'm going to let the engine sit in this orientation so that any epoxy that might be around there, gravity feeding down this way, won't go in the hole. And that epoxy's done. Be back, I'm going to let this harden 6-minute epoxy, probably 30 minutes, and we'll check it then. Okay, the epoxy's dried. Make sure that your little stopper here has a little rubber donut washer seal, because that little rubber donut, when you push it in, that's what locks the tube in place on the holder. So also make sure that you didn't get a epoxy in there, and it'll seat well. Thank you.